While the rapper has been in jail since his September arrest facing charges of sex trafficking, prostitution, and racketeering, to which he's pled not guilty, additional victims have come forward alleging they were sexually assaulted by Combs. And in a recent slew of filings obtained by E! News, one plaintiff identified as Jane Doe in the docs alleges the baby oil found in Combs' house was laced with GHB, which are often referred to as the date rape drug.
The indictment comes roughly 6 months after Combs' Holmby Hills mansion was raided. Story we broke here on Fox 11. Now Combs has pleaded not guilty to racketeering and sex trafficking charges. Could mean decades in prison. A judge then denied bail, claiming he could be a flight risk, even if the bail was set at a very high amount. The amount of money that Mr. Combs has could allow him to catch a flight out of the country, so they denied bail. So the music mogul will stay in jail until trial in the federal case. The charges, allegations Diddy held coerced sexual performances dubbed freak-offs, and accusations of shocking acts of violence to keep victims in line.
Fox 11's Matthew Seedorf looking into the court documents, now hearing from Diddy's attorney. He's live right outside Combs' mansion in Holmby Hills. Matthew?
Well, Marla, Christine, ever since that raid about 6 months ago, many people have been wondering if and when this day could happen, but now we're learning exactly what those charges are. Sean Diddy Combs in federal court for the first time, pleading not guilty to sex trafficking, racketeering, and transportation to engage in prostitution charges.
His spirits are good. He's confident. He is dealing with this head on.
The music mogul's attorney Tuesday claiming the 54-year-old is innocent.
We made the points that we've been wanting to make. I think he came out. Mr. Combs is a fighter. He's going to fight this to the end. He's innocent.
He recovered 3 AR-15s.
Federal prosecutors now unsealing a 14-page indictment revealing the deeply disturbing allegations.
Kidnapping, narcotics offenses, arson, bribery, drug charges.
Diddy accused of hosting hours and days-long sex acts he called freak-offs, where he allegedly abused, threatened, and coerced women and others around him to fulfill his sexual desires, protect his reputation, and conceal his conduct from 2008 to now.
Combs allegedly planned and controlled the sex performances, which he called freak-offs. And he often electronically recorded them, and often involved a variety of narcotics, such as ketamine, ecstasy, and GHB.
They made it very clear that they have some of the tapes of these freak-offs. I think the prosecution is prepared to prove a lot of these allegations.
In March, Fox 11 broke the story that federal authorities raided Combs' Holmby Hills home for the criminal investigation. Court documents now reveal authorities located AR-15s, narcotics, and more than 1,000 bottles of baby oil lubricant in those raids.
This is all pre-planned, premeditated, and well executed for a long time. And now these victims are coming forward.
Moses Castillo, a retired LAPD detective.
My concern is the victims moving forward. They're going to need a lot of support.
Combs particularly fancied the use of the popular date rape drug GHB. The October 14 filing alleges to commit heinous non-consensual acts of sexual violence and rape against the countless victims.
I know there was like 100 bottles of baby oil found.
1,000.
1,000 bottles of baby oil.
Crazy.
But then it came out that the baby oils were laced with some date rape drug.
Yeah, they say liquid GHB. A small amount of GHB will have you incapacitated as if you're dead, but your heart rate is lowered to a very low level, and you're alive, but you can't speak or move, but you can still breathe. So like, if that is true, that's a life sentence, bro. So 1,000 bottles, that's like 50 pounds of GHB, bro. That's a life sentence, bro. If that's true, he never coming home.
Gamma-hydroxybutyric acid, or GHB, is a chemical used in supplements for bodybuilding, fat loss, reversal of baldness, improved eyesight, and to combat the effects of aging. In the medical world, it's used to treat depression, drug addiction, and insomnia. Informally, it's called liquid ecstasy, goop, or scoop. It can be sold as a white powder that can be dissolved in liquids like water, juice, or alcohol. It is clear, colorless, and slightly salty to taste. GHB is typically abused for its euphoric and calming effects, It also increases the user's libido, suggestibility, passivity, and can cause amnesia. It's a common substance found in sexual assault cases as it can cause drowsiness, confusion, cause hallucinations, and impair memory. The effects of GHB withdrawal are similar to the effects of alcohol withdrawal. Addiction treatment at a rehabilitation center with medical staff is highly advised for the best recovery chances. If you or someone you love is suffering from the effects of addiction, there is help. Call now and start your recovery for a better tomorrow today.
The bottles of baby oil were laced with a drug called GHB. GHB can instantly render you incapacitated. GHB was introduced through the party scene and started to gain popularity among the party crowds. The New York City jail where Sean Diddy Combs is being held was targeted with an interagency operation Monday, federal prison officials said. The Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn is currently housing Combs on sex trafficking and racketeering charges. Other high-profile inmates from R. Kelly to Sam Bankman-Fried have been held there over the years. The Federal Bureau of Prisons told CBS News in a statement the operation was, quote-unquote, designed to achieve our shared goal of maintaining a safe environment for both our employees and the incarcerated individuals housed at MDC Brooklyn. The statement added there is no active threat at the facility.
Now to Sean Diddy Combs' investigation. New surveillance video shows Combs being taken into custody in a Manhattan hotel last week. Our senior investigative correspondent, Aaron Kotursky, is at the scene of his arrest. Good morning, Aaron.
Good morning to you, Robin. This is the hotel where Sean Combs was arrested a week ago. You can now see how that arrest went down. This morning, watch how federal agents took Sean Diddy Combs into custody. He's seen in this video entering the Park Hyatt Hotel in Midtown Manhattan with others when agents from Homeland Security Investigations approach and separate him. They place Combs under arrest and lead him out the front door in handcuffs. His lawyer said Combs had come to New York 2 weeks earlier with the intention of turning himself in. He did not expect the agents to be waiting at his hotel last Monday night.
Why doesn't the government want him to turn himself in? Because then they can't ask for detention. So they go and they arrest him. They arrest a guy who came to New York to turn himself in. 1, 2, 3.
A day earlier, Combs seen out and about in New York with his family, seemingly in good spirits. Combs has pleaded not guilty to racketeering, conspiracy, sex trafficking, and prostitution charges. At the center of the case, this 2016 video obtained by CNN that depicts Combs attacking his then-girlfriend, the singer Cassie, and then dragging her back toward a hotel room. Federal prosecutors said the video is powerful evidence of how dangerous the hip-hop mogul could be to women, part of why 2 different federal judges denied him bail.
This has to be a 100% culture shock. I can't imagine living a lifestyle of the incredibly rich and famous and then going into this very dark, impersonal, cold, austere facility.
Combs, who lived in this $50 million Miami mansion, is now in an isolated unit of a federal jail in Brooklyn known for miserable conditions.
The special housing unit is a 24-hour lockdown unit, which means that any movement within that unit is controlled and coordinated, and no inmate moves outside of his cell without being in full restraints, to include leg irons, handcuffs, a belly chain, and at least 2, if not 3 staff members escorting them.
When Combs first arrived at jail, he was monitored for suicide. That's common for any high-profile inmate. But his attorney says Combs is not suicidal. Rather, guys, he's focused on defending himself. Guys?
All right, we'll see what happens going forward. Aaron, thank you.
MDC Brooklyn faces increased scrutiny over deaths, violence, and dismal conditions. The Bureau of Prisons and the Justice Department have been pushing to fix the problems and hold perpetrators accountable. Last month, 9 inmates were charged in a series of attacks at the troubled jail. Federal prosecutors shared serious safety and security concerns, including 2 inmates being stabbed to death and a correctional officer shooting at a car during an unauthorized chase. MDC Brooklyn is the only federal jail in the city since MCC New York, where Jeffrey Epstein died by suicide, which closed in 2021. The waterfront industrial complex houses 1,200 people, mainly those awaiting federal trial in Manhattan and Brooklyn. Inmates at MDC Brooklyn previously won a $10 million class action settlement over frigid conditions during an 8-day blackout in 2019.
And if he stays alive, which I don't know if he will, I don't know if he'll be able to survive it. That's why he's trying to change his jail, because he in the same jail Epstein got killed in.
Well, this is a story that is grabbing national headlines as well, and we have new images tonight inside the cell where disgraced billionaire Jeffrey Epstein was found dead, and a blistering report from the Department of Justice. There's no foul play involved, but there were issues with his custody care and how he was supervised. The Department of Justice Inspector General explains what he uncovered.
Epstein was found hanged in his locked cell within the prison's secure special housing unit. The New York City's Office of the Chief Medical Examiner determined that Epstein died by suicide.
Department of Justice Inspector General Michael Horowitz didn't find any foul play into how Jeffrey Epstein died, but did say the Federal Bureau of Prisons made several key failures.
We determined that MCC New York staff failed to ensure Epstein was assigned a cellmate following an incident on July 23rd, where Epstein was found unresponsive in his cell with a cloth wrapped around his neck.
The Inspector General also found that inmates weren't frequently checked on and their cells weren't inspected. Epstein spent 36 days at the now shuttered Metropolitan Correctional Center in Manhattan. 2 weeks before his death, he was placed on suicide watch for 31 hours after a failed suicide attempt. The workers tasked with guarding Epstein the night he died were working overtime. One of them, not normally assigned to guard prisoners, was working a 5th straight day of overtime. The other was working mandatory overtime.
Had Epstein's cell been searched as required, it would have revealed that Epstein had excess prison blankets, linens, and clothing in his cell. MCC New York staff also failed to ensure that the institution's security camera system was fully functional.
Horowitz pointed to 13 employees with poor performance and recommended charges against 6 workers. Only the 2 workers tasked with guarding Epstein were charged, avoiding jail time in a plea deal after admitting to falsifying logs. The report offered 8 recommendations for the Bureau of Prisons to make changes and ultimately says the victims didn't get what they deserved.
The BOP's failures are troubling, not only because the BOP didn't adequately safeguard an individual in its custody, but also because they led to questions about the circumstances surrounding Epstein's death and effectively deprived Epstein's numerous victims of the opportunity to seek justice.
All right, y'all, there y'all have it. That's the story of the diddler with the GHB baby oil bottles, man. Hey, get in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think, man. I think this boy is cooked like turkeys on Thanksgiving. It's over with. It's overski. But hey, anyway, you know what it is. Drillers and trappers, we out here trapping and drilling 247. Don't go nowhere. Watch that next video. Gang!